Hello, quilters. I am back. I am so happy to be here. Let me just get a few things started in the chat. Leave a comment to let me know that the chat is working. I am home after a couple of weeks away, and I have work to do before I can actually sew in my studio, but I'm in the studio. So, how is everyone's summer going, or winter, depending on which hemisphere you're in? We've been in summer for a couple of weeks, and it so feels like it, and it's been pleasant so far. Um, let's see. I was away 2 weeks ago on vacation with my family. We were in the Berkshire Mountains in Massachusetts, and I got to have time with each of my kids and grandkids, and it was lovely. There was grandkids and ice cream. What could be better? Let's see who's here. Show. Is my computer not working? Okay. Janet, it's very hot, a bit better today. We were really hot 2 weeks ago while we were on vacation, but my condo had air conditioning, so it was okay. And then I was away in an air conditioned conference center last week, and I'm back home, and it's pretty mild this week. I can handle it up to about 85. It's not so bad. Let's see. Patty. Hi, Patty. I'm glad you're here. And hello in Kissimmee, Florida. I'm sure it's hot. I'm sure it's humid because that's 9 months a year. And Liz, hello in Pennsylvania. It's good to see you. I am in New York, just getting started for the day. I slept in a bit. Let's see, another in Pennsylvania, Shahola, Pennsylvania. I'm sure I'll be driving through there again shortly to go visit my mom or my in-laws. So let's see. Fun things from vacation. We had to stay inside because it was really, really hot. I have a lifetime goal. I have a couple things I'd like to see in my lifetime. And one is I want to see a porcupine in real life. I want to see a beaver in real life. I've seen these in zoos and such, but I want to see them in real life. Hasn't happened yet, but there was a beaver pond that we hiked to a couple times. And I was careful making sure I could get there and get back out so nobody had to carry me out of the forest. I went there early in the morning once. We saw evidence of beaver activity, like recent footprints, but I never got to see a beaver like swimming or anything. So I'll have to go back up there again. There's a great quilt shop there in Lee, Massachusetts. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Pumpkin Patch Quilt Shop. So I had some fun there. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Hello, Barbara in Indianapolis. I'm glad you're here. I came home from vacation, had enough time to pack and leave for Utah. So that was 2 Sundays ago. I flew in, met with some Handy Quilter retailers, had some training as an educator, and then taught at Handy Quilter Academy. Now, this was my first work flight in over 4 years. I flew out of Newark, and I was the recipient of a road rage incident. I'm safe, I'm fine, no property damage. But it was like, that was great. Somebody was in the wrong lane going into the parking lot, and it was unmanned, so they needed to back up. So I backed up enough that they could pull off to the side, but no, they wanted me to back up into the highway so that they could get to the correct lane instead of just getting out of the way so that I could go through. I was to solve their problems. So he put his car in reverse and tried to ram me, and then got out and was screaming at me. And I'm thinking, it's probably worse being him than being subjected to him. So there's that. The flight was horrible. I mean, all my flights landed on time. I had my luggage, but that flight had 4.5 hours of a screaming toddler throwing a temper tantrum. I thought it was hilarious because I could keep turning my hearing aids off. My neighbors didn't find it so funny. But it was a lot of walking. I was really tired when I got there, but it worked, and I made it through the week. I'm better now that I'm home and not. That's pretty grueling conditions working at a show, like that, with a lot of walking, a lot of moving. But I managed it, and we'll see what that means for the future. For now, this year, For the remainder of this year, I'm only going to travel by car, which means the Northeast US, like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, and New York and New England, New York, New Jersey, and New England. So that's what I have for this year. And we'll see what next year brings if I'm willing to do more flying, because it's so much fun. I took the red eye home on Saturday night, which is as enjoyable as it sounds, and I did it on purpose because I had to be at the I had an infusion yesterday, and I had to be there at 8 o'clock Monday morning. And I'm really glad I did take the red eye, because we had terrible storms yesterday, and it would have messed up the getting home and would have had me stressed out the whole day that I wouldn't get home on time. So I'd rather be tired. I got home, passed out on the couch, absolutely dead. One of those storms hit, trees down everywhere, not on my house. Didn't hear a thing. It was awesome. I love sleep. So yeah, and then I had an infusion yesterday, and now here I am. So I'm up. I've done some unpacking. Did some cooking, trying to figure out what I want to eat. Infusions make me a little green, and then I'm getting back to work. So my first part of work today was you. So I don't have anything new to tell you today, but I can catch you up on the last couple weeks. So, do you like having a video during this slot for the times that I'm not here? Does that work for you? You can let me know, because I don't want to just take off and leave you when I'm out of town. And it's not going to be very often that I'll be completely gone. It's like when I'm at my sister's visiting with my mom. I usually can talk to you from her kitchen, but I was completely out of touch the last couple weeks. So my plan was to have videos for you. 2 weeks ago, I posted a video of, let me pull up a quilt and let me share it with you. Window. There you go. So that is the quilt. I can buy myself flowers. I just like the flowers in it. The fabric line is Bouquet. I've been saving it for the quilt. I love that panel. I always intended to do those feathers on the side. Did we like that one? What I did was I took a quilt pattern of mine, which is called Go with the Flow, and I made all the blocks from the pattern. And then I took them and put them on the borders of the quilt. So I have instructions online that you can buy for free, about how to make this quilt, which is to take a panel, build it out so it's 40.5 inches, 40 inches plus seam allowance, and add the blocks around it. So I did that. I hope you enjoyed the video. That was a lot of video on that one because there were so many different blocks in the borders, in the borders, and different ways to quilt them. So I have where I quilted the panel that had the pumpkin seeds in it. You can see them there. I have my piano keys, and I have my feather. So I really love that feather, and I think that might be the foundation of a feather class part 2. So let me come back and say hi to you. Terry Lucas, hello. I'm glad to see you here. Terry was my traveling partner for a lot of years. We'd fly out of LaGuardia together and stay together when we traveled to teach at quilt shows. So I missed you on my flight yesterday, Terry. Janet, you like having a video while I'm away. You can keep the Tuesday 2:30. I like that. Occasionally I'll move to Wednesday, but that's only if I have like a doctor appointment or something like that. You know that line. Yes, you do. Let's see who's here. I have another comment. Cheryl, it was great finally meeting you too. Cheryl is a handy quilter educator north of the border. So she's one of our international educators. And Terry misses traveling with me too. We know that our friendship is going to last forever because we stayed in a room that was the size of a double bed plus 2 feet for a week. And we didn't kill each other. So we know we're good. We've had some fun travel times together, and it's always worked out. And I miss traveling with her. So let's see. So the I can buy myself flowers is a YouTube video you can reference and about my cutie patterns. So it's on YouTube for everyone all the time, and there's some machine quilting with ruler tips, things like that. So I hope you can use that as a reference. I think I'm going to make another quilt out of that same fabric. I have that fabric. I have that panel. It's just super fun. I really, really like that fabric line. So I'm behind on a lot of wedding quilts. I'm thinking I might make a wedding quilt out of that fabric line. We'll see. Could be cool. I have my list here. So I talked about vacation. I talked about Handy Quilter Academy. I talked about flying. I talked about the quilt. The next quilt I put up was last week while I was at Handy Quilter Academy. And let me share the screen with you. Where is that one? Window. My computer's being kind of silly today. There we go. All right, so this is ABC 123. And the purpose of these quilts is to take 2 charm packs and a bar of a strip of fabric and to quilt with stencils and to quilt with rulers. So this one I quilted with a square spiral and on that one. So that was a square spiral stencil and some free motion quilting filling it in. I really like the texture on that. I also used a ruler to quilt these perfect spirals inside of each of the charm squares. So I show you a couple tips on that. My goal for this series of quilts is to give you a bunch of new ideas on how to quilt your quilts. Using stencils and rulers. Will this become a class later? Yes, but you're getting it for free on YouTube now for everyone while I'm away. Let's see. I can stop sharing. I really like that fabric. That was Brie fabric. I've made quilts with that before. Love it. I still have some charm squares left, and a couple of the bolts for the yardage. I'll try to get those online this week. So let's see what we have going on. Are you enjoying getting those extra, here's how to use this stencil, here's how to use a ruler on a quilt? Do you like seeing it on a quilt, or would you rather just see a design on a piece of fabric? Terry loves that blue. Me too. It's going to show up in another quilt. That's the basis of another class. It is, I can't tell you how great it is to be back. I've had 7 procedures on my spine. Okay, 2023 messed up my lungs with COVID. They're fine. My disease was out of control. It's under control. With all of that, my spine got hit. I've had 7 procedures on my spine to try to lessen the pain. I'm still not moving very well, but I no longer have 24 hours screaming pain. I have it hurts to move pain, which is so much more doable because I can sit and I can quilt and I can think and I can read and all of that. So while I will not be ever able to split wood again or do a lot of things, I'm going to be limited in motion. It's great to be back and thinking and quilting. And it's only been about 6 weeks I've been back, and I'm trying to catch up with the work I had in mind. So I'm pretty excited to see what's coming, and there's a lot more coming. I have pages and pages and pages in my notebook. So buckle up. Let's see. All your quilting is so fun to watch as you do it. Thank you. It's not that hard to put a camera on. I'm in between cameras right now. My main video camera, it has been making a buzzing noise while I record, and every once in a while the shutter closed. So in some of those last 2 videos that I put out, it wasn't a great quality. So I'm trying to revert to an older video camera or try my iPhones or buy a new camera. So I'm in transition on the video front right now. I'll be trying them the rest of this week. And let's see. You like the tips on how to do things. Hello, Joan. I Yeah, I like to show it on real quilts because it comes up with seam allowances and making things fit, whereas putting it just on a plain piece of fabric, I don't think um, gives the same effect. So I'll keep quilting it on fabric because then I'll keep um, having quilts to give away. Something fun happened yesterday at my infusion. Words people don't often say. I know I infusion therapy is not great, but it keeps me going, and it makes me feel like I have morning sickness. So I haven't eaten yet today, but I really have to because I have to take meds. But I wasn't so sick that I couldn't cook, so I have 2 dinners prepped for the week. Um, but now I can't eat them. Anyway, um, there was a nurse. I've changed locations. I took a year off of my treatments trying to get over the COVID and the lungs and all of that stuff. And I moved locations. I went from one further away to one that I can drive to myself. I didn't feel comfortable driving an hour each way, especially on the way home. And it was awful to have my husband drive me there. So I switched to the local one, and then I can just drive up the hill. I just have to cross the street, and it's all back roads. Um, but there was a floater there from Poughkeepsie where I had seen her a couple years ago, and she met me at the door. She went, "Oh, you're the blanket lady." So I had given her a quilt years ago when she was my nurse, and it was fun catching up with her. Now, if someone calls it a blanket with love, it's not an insult. But that was fun. Let's see, Terry, I'm trying to get you up here. Did I get ice cream after? Yes, I got a double dose because yesterday Burger King had lowered their points for a free ice cream cone. So I picked that up in drive-through, and we also acquired Stewart's ice cream on sale, best ice cream out there. It's a New York dairy chain. It is Brownie Cookie Sundae was on sale this week, so it's one of my favorites. Oftentimes they'll have things like dragon fruit sherbet, coffee, and mint chocolate chip. They put 3 flavors on sale every week. And I'm like, apparently I'm not going to eat ice cream this week. But they put one of my mostest, bestest favorites on sale this week. And even if they hadn't, I would have bought one because I get ice cream with an infusion. Them's the rules. Let me turn that off. My mouse pad isn't working very well right now, and my mouse is still in my travel backpack. So what else do I have going on? You'll see later on, but I have a post going out that while I was gone, I got to have work started on my house. So I can tell you a story. Back in September of 2019, a tree fell on my house, destroying my house, but not destroying my sewing room. So that was great. It took out, they had to take out part of the deck to get the equipment in to get the tree out of the house. Then COVID happened, like the world shut down. So we got the house rebuilt, and but we didn't get like the floors refinished or the deck finished. So we just moved back in the house and let that be that. Then that next summer, so of 2020, we had storms like we've been having this week come through with microbursts, and one of my neighbor's trees fell and took out the other half of my deck, which wasn't replaced. So now, almost 5 years later, because the tree fell of September of 2019. So September will be 5 years. I'm getting my deck replaced. So I'll have pictures out for that later. It's pretty exciting. And it was funny when they came, they said, "Oh, we can give you an estimate in 2 weeks, and we hope to have work be able to get to it in August." And I'm like, "But I'm in a hurry. I've been waiting 5 years." They took it for the joke it was, but they had a little break in their schedule and were able to start working on the deck. So it may take until August. It's not like we're using it anyway. It may take till August, but it's been nice. My birds will just have to live without a bird feeder because right now the first step is a total doozy. Because I have a bird feeder on the outside of my sliding glass door that you can kind of see in my window there. So I have a bird feeder there, but we can't get out to refill it. Oh well, poor birds. So that's exciting. I'll have a deck. It's been a long time. I haven't been outside yet, but I saw out my window that it looks like my berries might be coming in early. I have wine berries in my yard, and they just grow. They're an invasive species brought to the United States in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they just grow wild. But they are a small raspberry type of thing. They're a little brighter, a little tartar, and very small, about half the size, like a quarter of the size of a blackberry. So I can go out and pick those and make jelly out of them. But it looks like they're starting to come in. Sometimes it's later July, sometimes it's early. And I have to fight the bears and I have to fight the deer. I mean, like, not me fighting a bear, but I fight for the berries. So we'll see who gets there first. So yeah, that's a fun time of year. I call them yard berries because they're from the yard, but they're wine berries. I've never made wine out of them. And let's see. What else do I have on my list? Vacation deck, candy quilter, flying, quilt, berries. Oh, the color block for this month. Hopefully later today, tomorrow, I will get you out the pattern for this month's color block. My color block series for the year is all about celebrations of seasons. So this was June's quilt. It was ice cream, and it's a triple decker ice cream cone. This month, July, is going to be popsicles. And I think I might have just might be ending at just the right time because I have a feeling that I have workers coming because I'm hearing trucks in the driveway. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I got to catch up with you. I will be here again next week, I believe. I think I have doctor, but it's in the morning. Yes, I will be here next Tuesday, the 9th at 2:30 Eastern time. And I hope to see you then. Look for me on social media and check out my blog and follow along. Also tag me and let me see what you're doing. I've seen one person make their ice cream quilt, and I'd love to see others. Anything that you're doing. So let's keep in touch and enjoy your summer, your ice cream and your popsicles and whatever else you have. Angie, let's see. Angie, now she wants ice cream. Me too. And I still have some in the freezer, and I'm still within the first 24 hours of my infusion, so I get whatever I want. Maybe that's what I'll eat now. Thank you for figuring it out for me. Take care, everyone, and I will see you on Tuesday of next week at 2:30 New York time with more quilting stories to tell. Happy quilting!